Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I am going to be talking about the 29th degree of the zodiac sign Cancer. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the sun, moon, and ascendant. Anyway, first thing up is, 29 degrees of a zodiac sign can represent, I see it as the full culmination and energy of the sign. This could give very amplified, intensified energy, sometimes even distortion of this sign. Now, with Cancer, this could be very powerful, strong emotions, exceptional sensitivity to ridicule and criticism. There could be the home and family could be very strongly accentuated and emphasized more so than the average Cancerian. The family life could really be strongly dominate the person, and also the person may be strongly introverted, exceptionally introverted, and express a lot of strong sensitivity in general. Now, also, it could give a very supremely temperamental personality, but yet very sympathetic, almost to an extreme, perhaps. Now, I think that 29 degrees of a sign can give strong procrastination. I call this like the inveterate procrastinator degree. 29 degrees of a zodiac sign could also be a degree of upheaval and crisis. Now, someone that I knew that was prominent in my life some time ago has a Cancer ascendant at 29 degrees, and saying that she was peripatetic probably would be a vast understatement. She had innumerable changes in residence, to say the least, and she struck me as somebody that was also strongly unstable, and a lot of it has to do, of course, with the aspects that are made in one's chart. But anyway, and this is not to intimate or imply that all Cancer ascendant people 29 degrees will be supremely unstable, or Cancer, or that all Cancerian people are like that. But I think the 29th degree might have intensified propensity for instability, and obviously there's aspects in her chart that can indicate that as well, that can accentuate that. So anyway, that being said, 29 degrees of Cancer can be a very strong, really, it could be involved with very strong emotional crisis situations and much vacillation in temperament. Now, also, there could be very strong, intense emotional reactions, and perhaps especially if the moon is in Cancer at 29 degrees, because, of course, the moon is is reactionary and it's responsive. So, anyway, and the thing about it is, really, this person, again, going back to that prominent person in my life that had the 29 degrees Cancer ascendant, she was also excessively dependent on family members to help her. Every time she would run into some kind of predicament or dilemma, she would be calling her mother up to come to a rescue. Sadly, this person had her husband die at at a really when she was relatively young, and I just think she wasn't able to handle really taking care of somebody by herself. So I think a lot of it had to do with that, and she was not really ready to just be alone, or everything but alone at that particular juncture in her life, just a few years into, maybe 6 years, perhaps 6 or 7 years into marriage. So anyway, also what I want to talk about is that looking at this as well, as far as Sabian symbols go, this could be the millionaire's degree is what it's referred to. And now perhaps in some cases it can give strong affluence and prosperity. I think a sextile or trine to Venus or Jupiter, of course, could help this. Now, the thing about it is, if this is an adverse aspect to Venus, maybe could be a million financial dilemmas. Of course, I'm exaggerating, I'm being facetious, but that same person, going back again to that person I was talking about with that 29 degree Cancer ascendant, she had her ascendant make a fairly tight aspect to her a fairly close square to her natal Venus. So I think sometimes it can almost go the opposite way depending on the aspects in the chart to that 29th degree of Cancer. Now, Also, too, going back to the Sabian symbol meanings now, meaning this could also be someone that feels about how someone feels about something can take very strong precedence over logic, and also someone that will vehemently abhor injustice and unfairness. Now, this person, again, not to be overly redundant, but the same person I've been talking about, she worked as a paralegal for some years. Very interesting. She also had a strong Libra emphasis in her chart. Now, and it could also, at the same time, this degree is a little paradoxical because it talks about, well, I mean, it's about, strong precedent. The feelings can take strong precedence over logic, and it's a very emotional degree because it's amplified, intensified Cancerian energy, but it could also give superlative cerebral ability. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that the Dwad in this case would be in Gemini. So, anyway, and it could also give more stronger mental prowess than the typical Cancerian. And adversity may be overcome with strong fortitude and valor. Now, if this is the ascendant, perhaps there may be multiple physical issues, Cancerian ones, such as with the stomach, the breast, or the chest. Now, if it is the moon, this might have a greater impact on the emotional nature, and it could cause perhaps more propensity for some emotional issues going through certain family crisis or what have you. But it could also accentuate more endings with family members because the moon is connected with the home and family. And also, too, this could also be, if it is in the moon, this could be very powerful, intensified emotional reactions to, say, criticism and ridicule, things that might make this person sensitive or upset. Now, if this is the sun at 29 degrees Cancer, this could take a toll, perhaps, for example, family strife, discord, might take a very strong toll on the person's vitality and even their creative energy. It's also important to look at the house this falls in, as of course this could impact the delineation. Now, that is of course if it's the sun or the moon, because of course the ascendant is at the first house cusp. So anyway, now let's say, for example, if this is the sun or the moon, let's say it falls in the 9th house in one's natal chart. For example, this could show very powerful, intensified sensitivity, really sympathy, and rescuing, nurturing energy, perhaps toward in-laws, grandchildren, and perhaps even through global communications. It could even just be doing YouTube videos, because YouTube videos, if they're on public, the whole world has the potential to see it, of course. So anyway, now, it's also important to look at the aspects that are made to this point, as this could impact the interpretation. Now, let's say if it has predominantly positive aspects, then the negative energy of this Cancerian 29th degree can be expressed very strongly, such as pouting, brooding, lamenting over things, doing and really maybe negative clinging energy to things or to people. Now, also, if it is, let's say, for example, as far as and if it's really, and again, if the aspects that are, if it makes, mainly positive aspects, then the positive energy can be accentuated, such as the nurturing, sympathetic energy, the rescuing energy connected with Cancer, of course, very amplified, being at the 29th degree. Now, also, let's say, for example, as far as a specific aspect, let's say it makes a sextile or trine to the natal Jupiter. Well, this could accentuate and enhance the chance of prosperity. Now, if it makes an adverse aspect to Uranus, as another example, this could perhaps give very shocking, unpredictable energy and instability connected with the home life, and may even exacerbate home crisis situations. Now, an adverse aspect to Pluto might make the person everything but a compulsive home wrecker. And really, this is something too, when I look at this, this could, when you look at this in a predictive astrology, now this could suggest the end of a home or family situation. It could be like a real estate closing. A family member may be passing, especially say if you have it like in the 8th if it's in the 8th house in one's chart. If you have, let's say if the transit Sun in Cancer is in the 8th house in a natal chart, that could really intensify really that propensity, perhaps from a family member passing. Now, also, this could be about something that was nurtured for some time, might come to a conclusion or culmination, going back, of course, again, to the 29th degree of Cancer, perhaps predictive, I'm saying predictive astrology. Now, what I want to talk about as well is that if you have, like, I mean, obviously in a chart, you can often have, contraindicators and modifications, other modifiers in a chart for energy. Now, let's say if you have a preponderance of fixed energy in the chart, that may tone down the strong vacillating temperamental energy of this degree, and say a fixed ascendant may modify this as well. Now, it's interesting. I know I've talked about the 29th, I mean, this is really, I mean, the video is about the 29th degree of the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant of Cancer, but I'm going to incorporate something a little bit odd in this one. This is a very interesting. Now, many of you may have heard about, actor Lee Majors. He was on TV show The Fall Guy, but he was also on the $6 Million Man shows about a bionic man. And again, the name of the show was the $6 Million Man. Now, he has Pluto in Cancer in his natal chart, Lee Majors, at the 29th degree, in his 10th house of career, of notoriety and recognition. And the thing about that, what I found interesting, is that he was on a show called The $6 Million Man. 29th degree of Cancer is considered the millionaire's degree. Also, Pluto is about transformation. He was transformed in the movie from a regular person to a bionic man who had very, strong, nearly superhuman powers in that movie. In that series, so which gave him inordinate strength, more so than the average human. So, sorry about that, people. But anyway, well, yeah, I mean, and the thing about it is it's in the 10th house of career, recognition, notoriety. So I thought it was very interesting. It was, I mean, to me, I think maybe astrology can be a little, can have a sense of humor sometimes, but it's very interesting that he played the role of the $6 Million Man. He has Pluto in Cancer in the 29 degrees, a $6 Million Man who, of course, was transformed. And now his character on TV was somebody that was connected with transformation, and he got notoriety and recognition for it. In the 29th degree, again, the millionaire's degree, he was known on TV as the $6 Million Man. So, and if you ever get a chance to look at his chart, I mean, it's almost like the chart itself could be the chart of Steve Austin, the character he played on the show, the $6 Million Man. So, and as I've stated before anyway, that I do believe, my theory on this, that actors and actresses can often on a subconscious level, if not a conscious level at times, be connected or attracted to roles that correspond with their astrological energies. Now, anyway, last person I want to talk about who has Cancer at the 29th degree in his chart is game show host Alex Trebek, who has the Sun in Cancer at 29 degrees in his 10th house, imaginative career, notoriety, and recognition. He has been the host of Jeopardy since like 1984, and he's on a show, of course, which is about giving away money to contestants that win. And I mean, I don't know if any particular contestant has ever won $1 million on the show, but I'm sure the show has by now, given the fact that it's been out for like 34 years, and that it's given away, I'm sure, millions of dollars by this point. Alex Trebek also has, I mean, according to most sources that I've researched on the internet, has a net worth of about I'd say at least approximately $50 million right now. And he has helped, of course, again, contestants amass a lot of money during its run. And I mean, saying that he is prosperous probably would be a vast understatement. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for the zodiac sign Cancer at 29 degrees. Stay tuned next time where I'll be talking about the 29th degree of Leo. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel, but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.